So hello there and welcome back to this final offering in the Alchemical Priestess Credo series that we've been traveling with. So in this video, I'm going to just be presencing the threads that we've been weaving, the lines that we've been remembering through our journey into what it means to stand in divine feminine leadership at this time on our planet, and really the awakening of this alchemical priestess archetype within our collective psyche, the one that we're really birthing into being, that particularly women all over the world, although some men as well, really are stepping into this energetic. And the core of the alchemical priestess really is this deep, fierce, courageous commitment to being connected to our own journey through life, our own challenges and initiations, our own wounds, if you will, and really traveling deep within, taking the inward journey deep within to actually heal those wounds, and then to return with the gift of our own essence. And that is a form of leadership that is very different criteria from the form that we've been living in. Okay, so there is, the myth of the hero's journey is that in the masculine goes out into the world and conquers the challenges out there in the world, right? And travels to far-flung places in order to face the parts of himself that are being called into initiatory process. And that's a beautiful journey, and that's been the one that we've been traveling on in our patriarchal system. It has been, the dominant story. And we are entering into the rebalancing by remembering a different story. The divine feminine story of initiation is the heroine's journey of coming inside and going down deep into the unknown, into the abyss, into the void, inside the mystery. And from there, waiting, dissolving, letting go of the ego, letting go of who we think we are, letting go of all of the things that we imagine are important, and listening for what actually is important. It's a very different kind of journey. And it's not to say that that journey is better than, it's not. But there is this coming together, right, of the hero's journey and the heroine's journey in a sacred alchemical union, a marriage, where we actually get to rebalance this outward motion with the inward motion. And there is this delightful dance that we can actually participate in that has been stagnant within us as a culture for many thousands of years. It's like we haven't been able to do this dance. Men haven't been able to dance in the feminine, and women haven't been able to dance in the feminine. We haven't been able to rebalance our nature. And so this form of leadership that we're really speaking of is an invitation to rebalance, to sit within the paradox, to sit within dancing stillness, to come into sovereign communion, to be in heart authority and resonant authority, to be in devoted service, to bring together these different parts of our being and actually alchemize them. To sit within the paradox really means being willing to access that place within us that tolerates ambiguity, that tolerates not knowing, that tolerates many different perspectives of what is true in any given moment. Being able to hold the whole is being able to actually sit in a place where you are able to listen to and hear your own truth and the truth of all those around you, and hold that every truth comes from a specific lens and is valid. Can you feel what shifts in your leadership when you truly come from the perspective that everybody's truth is valid? Even those ones that you most disagree with, that you deeply disagree with, that irk you, that absolutely get a rise out of you. Even those perspectives have a truth to them from within that individual's lensing. And being able to sit in a leadership where you can appreciate that, where you can actually see these beings as equal. That all beings are equal, truly. You may not like what someone stands for, you may not agree with it, but that basic humanity, when we start to see beyond the belief system to the actual humanity, that's a form of leadership that leads us beyond the polarity of your way, my way, right, wrong, right? It leads us into a whole other place. You know, those words from the Rumi poem are coming to me. There is a field out beyond the place of right and wrong. I will meet you there. What a wise man. He was speaking to this kind of leadership that really sees beyond the duality of winner, loser, victim, perpetrator, you know, this duality that we've been living in, to actually seeing, wow, what happens when we give everybody a voice, because everybody has a voice, and we listen to it. It doesn't mean you have to agree, but there is something alchemical that happens when you actually truly receive another's point of view in your heart and you truly listen to it. Because this is what happens when you truly feel received. Something begins to shift. So much of what we're fighting for is to actually be heard and received in the truth that's coming through us. No matter how skewed or how disconnected that might be, there is a desire to be heard. And from this position in leadership, we are training ourselves to hear beyond the words, to hear the humanity, to hear the soul being that's actually in front of us, in ourselves and in all these situations. And then something really extraordinary begins to happen. And I've had this experience so many times in my life, when I can breathe and let go of my agenda for a moment, right? And just receive what the other is saying. And this is really, really advanced work for us, right? Because we all have our ego agendas of what we think's right and what we think it should happen. And we're so attached. But the Alchemical Priestess and this whole path gives us a moment to actually release that. And to just listen, to be in the unknown, to sit in the paradox of all of it is true. All of it's part of the whole. And when we actually are able to do that, the magical thing that happens is we actually access into that alchemy that lives in all of us. That when we begin by surrendering and accepting and truly loving, in the true sense of the word, unconditional love, right? Not romantic love, but unconditionally loving the humanity of the other and ourselves, we make room for something to actually shift. I've sat in so many situations where it is just through my accessing into the heart, into the unconditional love, that has shifted the situation, that has alchemized myself and the other into a different position than we ever thought possible. And this is part of the leadership that we're looking for. It's not so much in what you're saying, it's in who you're being, right? Going into all these situations all over the world, can you imagine? And actually being the agent of alchemy, which is what the Alchemical Priestess and this form of leadership is really asking from us, is to actually be that alchemical shift, to raise the vibration within our own beings first, and to offer that to the other, the opportunity to step into a different place. Because truly, in my truth, and this is my lensing, I really believe that all beings want access to that next place of evolution. They just may not be able to find it. The doorway may not have opened to them yet, but you, in this form of leadership, get to be that portal, that doorway, that possibility. It's radical. So there's an invitation here for you to be that possibility, to alchemize polarity in your own being, to welcome the difference and to alchemize it into the oneness. To be an ambassador of that, to be a priestess of that on our planet, means to truly walk inside of that. And this Credo, this whole series has been about inviting you into a deeper musing, a deeper meditation with how this alchemical priestess archetype is showing up within you. How has she been calling you to this different kind of leadership, this divine feminine leadership that is nuanced and subtle and actually requires great skill, but the skills that we all have, men and women alike, we just haven't been trained in them for many thousands of years. They've been dormant. We haven't been trained to remember, oh, I'm a subtle energetic force, and when I choose to vibrate to a certain energetic frequency, I can affect the field around me, because the quantum field around me is not separate to me, but is actually part of me. I am that. And that is such a powerful recognition. Then you truly are an agent of alchemical elixir and transformation and transmutation on the planet, right? There's no way that you're not. But that conscious relationship to that is the path. And it's not an easy path, I'm not saying that. But there is an elegance and a simplicity to the question of, who am I asked to be in this moment? What's my truth? And being able to navigate toward that is everything to do with this Priestess Presence path. And the path of the 13 Moon Mystery School lineage is a mystery school that leads us on that heroine's journey down into the depths, the journey of Inanna, the journey of Astarte, of Ishtar. These great myths that we have in our past that are talking about how to go down and within to retrieve the treasure and bring it back for the culture. Not just for the individual, because truly it's for the culture. And we're in a renaissance right now. It's an exciting time to actually be here in a female body. We've been waiting for a long, long time for this to happen. And so I welcome you to be a living embodiment of this renaissance. And I'm really honored to be in sisterhood with you, to be in your company. And I look forward to the ways that we might dance together and create magic on the planet as we further embody and further remember what it means to step into divine feminine leadership. And I can't wait to hear from you, your experience of this, and to grow this together. You are a pioneer. Just as all the sisters are who've come together in this temple, we are pioneering and remembering. We are at the forefront of a wave that is so needed, that is so ready to come to fruition in all of us. We're so tired. We're so exhausted of the systems that we have in play. And we know there's another way, and it has to happen through each one of us, awakening to that divine spark, really tuning in, bringing our devoted gifts to the world. What a wonderful path, right? For me to say that leadership means you tuning in and bringing the essence of who you are to everything that you do. And the essence of who you are is love and joy. And that doesn't mean that there's not shadow and there's not darkness. Of course there is. But the central alchemical elixir is, I love my shadow as I love my light, for all things are transformed in the presence of love. So if we could say the quintessentialized leadership, it's love. And that's easier said than done. I know that from my own journey. So I'm initiating you into a path of unconditional love, beloved. And should you wish to come deeper on this path and closer into the temple, there are all kinds of ways within the Priestess Presence Temple that you can join sisterhood circles, that you can come in as an initiate into the 13 Moon Mystery School lineage, that you can choose to deepen this path in community, in sisterhood. And you can find out all about that on the website priestesspresence.com. There's plenty of ways for you to stay connected. I can't wait to join with you in whatever way you're being called. So many blessings for now, and thank you for taking this journey with me.